Today we're sewing the Mariner's Compass Applique, a bold yet beginner-friendly design that adds instant impact to bags, pouches, and other handmade projects. This applique is designed to stand out. It's a great way to introduce color, shape, and personality to your projects while using up small pieces of non-woven fabric from your stash. I'm Kate, and welcome to the Sallie Tomato YouTube channel. We help you grow your sewing skills with stylish, approachable projects you'll actually use. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss a tutorial, and let's create confidently together. The Mariner's Compass Applique was designed by Renee Kapitansky and inspired by classic nautical imagery. It's meant to feel graphic and intentional, creating a stunning focal point. The pattern gives you the freedom to play with fabric combinations and color placement, making each version completely your own. The finished applique measures approximately 7 3/4 inches in diameter. This applique works best with non-woven fabrics like faux leather, cork fabric, or micro suede. Since the edges are left raw, these materials create a clean, polished finish. Before cutting, be sure to measure your project panel to confirm that the applique will fit your intended placement. This design works beautifully as a centered statement or bold accent piece. Before we begin, make sure you've downloaded the free Mariner's Compass applique pattern using the link in the description below. All the supplies and cutting instructions are listed on the front page. Once you've selected your fabrics and cut out your pieces, you're ready to sew. I'll guide you through each step of the construction process so you can follow along at your own pace. Let's get started. First, select your project piece. You want to make sure to check that the Mariner's Compass design will fit well within the seam allowances. Here I have two different project panels. One is circular, so make sure you measure in, allowing for the seam allowances, and then measure across, checking that your applique design will fit. On a larger panel, which I'll be using for this tutorial, this I know is already large enough that it's going to fit well within these large pieces. All right, let's move on to prepare your applique pieces. Place the paper template pieces, printed side up, on the wrong side of your selected applique fabrics, and then trace along the outer edge of each piece the specific number of times that you need for multiple pieces, and then cut the pieces out following your marked lines. When I'm cutting out very small or detailed pieces that I've traced, I will always try to cut off the marked lines of my traced pieces. Since I traced the outside of this template, if I cut off the marked lines, my piece of the applique will be more accurate. If the very point is not looking quite as tidy as you'd like, sometimes just nipping off the tiniest bit at the end will make a neater looking point. Now we're ready for marking the project. On the right side of your project, mark a centered vertical and horizontal line that bisect each other in the middle. Then mark a second set of bisecting lines centered between the first set, so the second set will be angled. If you have an acrylic ruler, often they will have right on the ruler diagonal lines that you can follow and have your second set of bisecting lines perfectly angled between the first set. You'll notice I have one set of bisecting lines larger. I'm going to use those lines for the larger pieces of the applique. The shorter bisecting set of lines I will use for the shorter set of applique pieces. Now go ahead and position the applique pieces. With right sides up, position one piece A along the right-hand side of every other marked line with the long angled edges pointing away from the center. Hold each piece in place with a little bit of basting tape or basting glue or even a basting spray. Then you'll repeat the step, positioning one piece B directly opposite of each piece A, aligning the longest straight edges together. Ideally, the opposite angled edges of the two colors should be meeting nice and neatly at the interior corner, and there should be very little space between all the pieces near the center. So I can see my cutting was not quite accurate along this piece, but I think we'll be able to make that work in that piece as well. We'll see how we do. And finally, repeat these steps, nesting the smaller pieces C and D very close to the inner edges of the pieces A and B, just like I'm doing here. And then we're going to go to the sewing machine and top stitch an 1/8 inch from all the edges. There are lots of different directions you could stitch a single piece at a time, as I'm doing, or you might want to jump from one piece to the next without back stitching or doing thread trimming. That's certainly an option. Experiment and see which way is most comfortable for you. Your applique is complete and you're ready to go on and complete your project following your pattern. I hope you enjoyed making the Mariner's Compass applique. It's a striking design that brings movement, color, and personality to any project you add it to. We'd love to see how you use your applique. Share your project using #SallieTomato so we can celebrate your creativity. If this tutorial inspired you, give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss our next project. Thanks for sewing with us, and as always, keep creating confidently.